It is 2:32 a.m. on June 21st, 2026. We are at 2,149 days. I believe so. I believe so. I might. It's late. It's late. Okay, so let's get started because um we have gotten so much breaking news. So much breaking news. I'm going to try to explain it to you. Of course, I just come on and speak from my heart because uh, there's not time enough in the day to really like put together a show every single day because we come on every single day. Um, we just have to give it to you like it is. And so here we go. Richard was amazing, absolutely amazing. And he was a whistleblower, um, exposing the El Paso cartel conglomerate. Um, what do I mean by that? I mean that there was an alliance between the El Chapo Sinaloa cartel with the El Paso cartel, with the Juarez cartel, with the La Linea cartel, with the CJNG cartel, with the Tren de Aragua cartel. We have confirmed all of that. They are in alliance and, ruling Mexico had become a narco state. Chihuahua really is the epicenter of that with El Paso. El Paso, Texas is the main epicenter. Epic failed, right? The El Paso intelligence community failed. And now we have the military under President Trump. He is the commander in chief. And um, the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, having to do the work that Epic failed to do. Um, because the Trojan horse, right? They have infiltrated El Paso, um, this cartel alliance, the El Paso cartel conglomerate. They've become double agents, triple hatters, double hatters, infiltrated any way they could, and uh, not abiding by the laws and rules and regulations of the countries, uh, be it in the United States, the Texas Constitution, the United States Constitution, or in Mexico, because this is a transnational conglomerate, cartel conglomerate. It really is a terroristic organization, right? Um, they didn't want to abide by Mexican law, so they have no regard for Mexican sovereignty or American sovereignty. They are just a, a big cartel bully, right? And so Mauro Campos has really become like the governor of death. And we have evidence that she's become the governor of death because of the Plenitude Crematorium with over 400 bodies that she tried to cover up in this transnational flesh peddling funeral fraud operation by Group of Purchase and the Ariano Crone family. Um, that, uh, family that had contracts with with Chihuahua, right? For road work and security and all of that, and having all kinds of businesses in El Paso, um, not abiding by permits or inspections or anything. No, they got favorable or different treatment where they didn't have to worry about any of that, putting them in a position to do even more harm. Of course, the putting CIA agents on her payroll and letting them have office space in her prosecutor's building called the Fiscalia, and running them in unauthorized uh, rogue operations. And, they were on many operations. And just recently, of course, 2 CIA agents were killed in a ambush during one of those rogue operations. And she tried to cover that up because it exposes the whole the Torah Sentinella, which that is being widely talked about now, and this 1.27 billion-dollar surveillance grid that includes drones and the Pegasus. It's an Israeli um, software called Pegasus that will absolutely break through any of your passwords on your phone to harvest your data. And then, of course, they built the 20-story tower that's AI powered to memorize and organize and analyze and weaponize that data. Um, that is, I don't know, that seems worse than almost an A bomb. I really do. That kind of um, that kind of power is just, it's it's very destructive, very destructive. And then, of course, our son's um, trafficking his body after he had been murdered on Fort Bliss, and that network to be able to traffic his body over to Juarez. And then, all the information that we have, the evidence indicates that they cashed in on him. And this is, what I wanted to talk about, but there's so much information coming out that I'll touch on it briefly. Um, because more and more information is coming out that corroborates that they were cashing in on these bodies, and that includes our son's body. When you have the very people that are involved in this El Paso cartel conglomerate that are responsible for the murder and trafficking, stealing Richard's body off of Fort Bliss and trafficking it across the borders. When those very people that are responsible for that are also responsible for insurances and death policies that and access to the VA IDES-PEBLO, which is the whole process of collect, disability benefits and anything to do with the VA's um, database and system. You know, it really, gosh, the fraud, the amount of fraud that's going on, we have to expose it because they had access to that. And I can't even imagine how much money the fraud is, uh, eh, could be, could be. I can't even imagine because we, have a over trillion-dollar budget for our military, and I can't even imagine uh, how all that it's just huge. It's huge. And it's the very people that hurt Richard are in charge of this, right? It's like the same people that are in charge of investigating the bodies found at um, uh, the crematorium that Mauro Campos was trying to cover up are the very uh, the very system that put the bodies there in the first place. So that's why it's so complicated, and not very complicated, but it's so criminal, right? It's so criminal because they are Maru Campos's administration, and they are El Paso cartel also. So it is jaw dropping to get this information, and then to find out that El Flaco, who's the lieutenant for the Sinaloa cartel, financed Maru Campos's mayor's campaign and governor's campaign in order to put her in office. So, we were very, very right when we said that she's the El Chapo fentanyl governor of Chihuahua, because El Flaco is El Chapo's Sinaloa cartel, and she was put in office for them. So she's really a proxy for the El Chapo Sinaloa cartel that is in alliance with the El Paso cartel conglomerate. She's absolutely, that means she's in alliance with the Juarez cartel, La Linea, and CJNG and Tren de Aragua. So she is aiding and abetting terroristic organizations. That's what she's doing. And she is the death governor, very clearly, with 400 plus, um, rotting in a uh, a house. It called it, well, it was the funeral fraud whole uh, Plenitude Crematorium, under her mother's oversight. Okay, so she is totally responsible for that, and and they were making money off of flesh peddling. That's the only way I can call it, especially during the COVID. Um, and of course, that required death certificates, and so these are proxies for the cartel, that say they deceive us and say they are our mayor or governor or our representative, because we know that in El Paso it's like this too, with the DA's office, with the AUSA, with the judges, with Veronica Escobar. They are just proxies for the cartel, and the medical examiner too, and which is Mario Raskin Ortiz. He's cartel. And then, of course, uh, the clerk, right? The clerk that issues these death certificates and stuff. So Mauro Campos, and that's a Delia Briones. So Mauro Campos is absolutely the governor of death, and that fits her very, very well, with hard evidence to back it, because all of these deaths, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. She's covering up, right? She's covering up. So, thank you, Jenny. What's the update with Trump and his administration taking down waste, fraud, and abuse? So, there's a lot of updates, and I can tell you that Trump is coming to El Paso. I can tell you that much, because it's narrowing in and narrowing in and narrowing in. And now, um, just recently, he bombed to smithereens a Tren de Aragua cartel leader that has direct ties to El Paso, um, through funneling into the United States. So he's coming closer and closer and closer to El Paso and dismantling this terroristic organization and the proxies. Okay, he's dismantling the proxies. And you see that even in the United States, some proxies are falling. We have 4 senators that were proxies for criminal activity. And they are, well, Senator Cornyn, right? Senator Cornyn is one of them. So, and they are bye bye. They are bye bye. And that's not the end of the accountability. It's just one step to dismantle this system so that it won't continue to keep doing the damage that it's doing, the bloody damage that it's doing. So that's what I can tell you there's on that one. Uh, it is a complex criminal network, and it is, a lot of families. These are, related people, and have a long history, and a big common denominator is from the Chihuahua Mormon faction settlements, which are called colonies, and they're trying to colonize Mexico and the United States under them. I really believe that because the common denominator is so powerful, and then they have no loyalty to Mexico or the United States. So who do they have loyalty to? The cartel. And they have this common denominator with the you know with the Chihuahuan um, colonies, the Mormon colonies there. And so that's why I say the faction, and you just dive in it just a little bit and you'll find that common denominator, that common thread. In our son's case, in the Walmart mass shooting case, in most cases right now over there. So, how many different cartel mafia are there? Well, there's one. There's one, the really big one. I would say the Maisas are another one. The El Paso cartel conglomerate is like one big cartel, right? That's what they did. They joined together, and then the Maisas didn't really want to. That's the El Mayo's faction of the Sinaloa cartel, and I don't think that they wanted to, and that's why they illegally extradited him. There was no extradition paperwork or anything. They just kidnapped him. So, I think it's because he was holding out. He didn't want to. That's the word that we've gotten. So maybe other people have some other intel, but that's the intel we've gotten, and it's good intel. Um, so, of course, this leads to the law enforcement, the El Paso um, FBI field office, and the police department and all that. And we're working with all of them. And we can tell you that there is infiltration big, of course, but we're still working with all of them because we have to try to bring back our country, right? But President Trump is the one that has uh, really the big financial sucker to them, being the cartel. He's turning off their spigots, and their power to even have a spigot. So that is really, really important. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I think I got I mean, there's so much information, but I wanted to cover that the more and more information's coming out about this TISTA, and I'll bring that out more tomorrow. It's just so late tonight, but that this access to the systems at the VA is really totally connected to our son's case. We know that now. It's totally connected, and with the IDES-PEBLO, totally connected to our son's case. Um, and so that means they were cashing in on they were acting very fraudulently with these VA cases. So that, and of course, I wanted to bring up that Mauro Campos is the governor of death, and because she's getting funded by El Flaco for the Sinaloa cartel, the El Chapo Sinaloa cartel. Um, and that is huge, and I hope that you read that. And I think that is really the two major points that I wanted to um, establish tonight. So thank you so much, everybody. God bless you. Please share. Thanks for coming on so late, Jenny. I'm just overwhelmed that you can come on this early or this late, and please share all of this information. And I want to thank you so much for understanding. And let's keep up the good fight, and let's not give up hope. This is what it takes. This is what it takes, is not falling asleep, but staying awake, and really our countries are at stake. And so we have to fight. And we have to do it legally, because we have to preserve our constitutions, be it the Mexican sovereign constitution or the United States sovereign constitution. And I'm purposely using sovereignty, because uh, the cartel conglomerate, they're globalists. They serve a globalist cause, and I think even above their big cartel kingpins is globalist control over it. So probably, uh, yeah, I don't want to say which ones I believe, but yeah, globalist control over that. So thank you